Hey y'all, it's Elizabeth Weimiller, and can you believe that I am recording May of 2026 and the insights you can expect for May? Like, I do not know where April went. Every time I finish one of my newsletters, I think I have some time until I need to write the next month, and then the next month shows up in what feels like 30 seconds to me. Um, the first question I'm going to ask you is, did you survive April 19th and 20th? I know I was out and about. I had to travel. It was an intense energy. I was around my clients. They said, everybody I talked to said those days were really rough, whether it was meetings they were in or travel they were doing. Um, so the energy did deliver. And, sometimes you just got to go with the flow. Sometimes you can't control your travel schedule. So you know it's coming. You use patience and you trust the universe. So hopefully you survived that. Hopefully it wasn't too bad. But let's go ahead and like kind of look at May. I promise May and June have more positive energies, and we should have some time to enjoy those before late August, when I do think there is going to be a bit more chaotic energy, and I do think late August will pack more of a punch, especially around August 22nd. So, well, we're not going to talk about that today. Um, we are going to talk about May of 2026 and what you can expect in May. So, May 1st, we have a full moon at 17 degrees of Libra in the lunar mansion of Swati. Full moons are really a great time to bring projects to their climax and to start working them towards completion. It's never a time, never a great time to begin a new project. If you've been with me, I know you hear this. If you can avoid beginning a new project, then do. There are better times to start new projects. But this full moon is about self-determination. It's a softer moon because it's in the sign of Libra, which is ruled by Venus. So you may find that you are better able to share the information that you need to share with others under this moon. You can be more diplomatic, and the moon can be more persuasive in this position. A caution under this full moon energy is that some could be more sensitive to criticism. And if you kind of feel like someone's criticizing, ask yourself, what can you learn from the person? What can you learn from the criticism? Maybe it's just something that needs to go in one ear and out the other because it's not something that you feel would be authentic to you. But how could the information that they're sharing help you to grow and move forward? I mean, that's what we're here on Earth to do, right? So, under this full moon, it's just going to be really important. Ground yourself, whether it be through yoga, meditation, or just getting out in nature and just being and sitting. Next, we are going to have Pluto stationing to turn retrograde on May 6th at 11 degrees of Capricorn. This is going to be the end of our streak of no retrograde planets. So while everything was moving full speed ahead right now, Pluto will start to slow things down a little bit as it goes retrograde. The most potent days for retrograde stations are 10 days before, the 10 days before, and the 10 days after the station, where the most can happen anytime a planet goes retrograde. This, one of the things we can see with Pluto stationing retrograde is it has the potential to really surface and bring to the forefront secrets or issues that have been hidden. This is even more true in the sign of Capricorn, so there could be issues coming to light that could relate to business or government. It can represent a time to let go of outdated structures, and it can be a really great time to evolve to the next level of success. So if you personally have been wanting to release any old baggage or old situations or anything holding you back, this is a really great time to purge the old and release it to move forward. I always say it's best to kind of let the planets work in your favor, right? Like the energy's there, use it to your advantage. May 11th, Mars will transit into its own sign of Aries. This is a positive transit for Mars as it is at home in Aries. It's going to be transiting with Mercury for 3 days, however, until May 14th when Mercury transits into a new sign. What this means, though, is that we really need to watch our communication. We can be blunter and harsher in our tone. If you need to have a conversation that requires you to be more aggressive, this could be an ideal window, especially if you're someone who is not normally aggressive or able to be direct enough with others. While Mars is transiting in Aries, it does have the ability to allow us to push through obstacles. So if there's some things you've been trying to push through, now can be a great time to do that. Mars in Aries is very energetic and it's able to complete things more quickly. For some, it may make them more combative and argumentative, depending on what house Aries rules in their chart. If you come across this with anybody, just kind of take a step back and ask, kind of take that step back, ask them to speak at a different time once everyone has had the time to think and cool off so that it doesn't kind of go off the rails in the conversation. The caveat during this transit of Mars and Aries is to make sure you take the time to think through decisions because Mars and Aries can result in a rush to decide on something and you can later come to regret that decision. So just take the time, sleep on it. Big date, you're going to want to mark May 14th down. We have three planets switching signs on May 14th. This could cause some very unsettled energy because anytime a planet switches signs, that planet's energy gets a little more chaotic. But when you had three planets all in one day, it can make everything seem a little more chaotic, especially since it's three of the small, inner, more personal planets. So the Sun, Mercury, and Venus will all be changing signs on May 14th. Now, when the sun changes signs on May 14th, it will be making its annual transit into Taurus. This transit can bring you a boost of determination. It can bring with it a sense of feeling secure. You are going to be able to achieve materialistic pursuits through hard work and taking a balanced approach to all things. And you may find under this month-long transit that you're working harder to achieve your goals. You could also find under this transit that you start making decisions to better support your health and your body. One of the things is May 22nd, the sun will be conjunct Uranus at 7 degrees of Taurus. This can be a time of unexpected change. It can be a time where we see rebellions occur. You may feel the urge to kind of break out of the routine and the mundane. It's going to be really important to stay active to avoid that restless and nervous energy that that transit can bring up. Now, with this transit, the more you resist, anytime Uranus is involved, the more you resist change, the more likely you are to be thrust into it. So again, we may see some rebellion against authority figures under this transit as well, like governments and such. The key is to really ride the wave and go with the flow. The more you can embrace changes coming your way, the easier they are going to be in the long run. As I've been saying, if you have been listening and following for a while, anytime Uranus is involved, the key is to get comfortable being uncomfortable. Now, that is also the expression I am using for this year and last year, and probably next year too. The more you can be okay with that unsettled feeling, the better off you are going to be. Now, the next planet changing signs on May 14th is Mercury, and it is also going to be transiting into Taurus because Mercury and the Sun are always pretty close together. With Mercury transiting into Taurus, it brings together the energy of Venus and Mercury. It can be a time of imagination and creativity. The transit may motivate you to take initiative and begin new projects. One of the things is, though, remember, Uranus is in Taurus right now. So the conjunction of Mercury and Uranus can bring some issues and lack of clarity around communication. So just be mindful the day before and the day after May 17th. And May 17th is the exact day of conjunction for Mercury and Uranus. So day before May 17th, day after May 17th. However, once you get past that, it can bring clear communication to situations once Mercury gets a little further away from Uranus, because Mercury in Taurus does give clear communication. Now, with the transit of Mercury in Taurus, you may find you're more confident in expressing your desires and your point of view. You may even find you're more willing to challenge others' points of view, which with Mars and Aries, just watch your tone a little bit. But it can be a great time to set realistic goals. It can be a good transit for relationships. You're more easily able to um, open up in communication once you get, again, past that Uranus conjunction, of course. And this is just a time to really appreciate your relationships and resources in your life. Now, the last planet changing signs on May 14th is Venus will be transiting into Gemini. The beautiful thing about this transit is that Mercury and Venus will be in each other's signs of rulership. This is known as parivartana. That's the astrological term. Is going to make both planets act as if they are in their own signs. This is going to be a positive energy and be a nice upliftment from the energy that we've been feeling during the first part of 2026, which, as I've talked to people and I felt it, it has been a very heavy energy. This transit will benefit creativity, and if you have projects that need a creative approach, this is the time when the planetary energy will really be supporting you. This can be anything from creative writing, coding, or anything else in that realm. This Venus and Gemini will also make communication a little sweeter. And then on the other side, it can also bring out sexual energy. So this can be really good if you're in a relationship. If you are single, however, it's going to be really important not to jump into anything physical unless you truly recognize the choice you are making. Okay, that's the three things on May 14th. Now, May 16th, we are going to have a new moon at 1 degree 44 minutes of Taurus in the lunar mansion of Kritika. With the new moon in Kritika, it shows the energy that we can expect for the month ahead. So the lunar mansion indicates the ability to be more precise, and it's a great time to refine things and bring them to a greater level of precision. If there's any bad habits that you have wanted to cut out of your life, Critica is a great lunar mansion for cutting things out. It is symbolized by a knife. So take the energy this month and get rid of any bad habits you've been wanting to get rid of, which with a couple of the transits up above can be really beneficial. So cut those out. No pun intended. Sorry, I couldn't help myself. May 26th, the sun will be at the midpoint of Rahu and Ketu, the two nodes of the moon. This can be a really powerful energy and could indicate, however, some energy that could create issues for leadership around the world. There may be more challenges for leadership at this time, and it's going to be really important to expect the unexpected as the new moon will be with Uranus and Taurus, which can always bring some unexpected surprises as well. So it's all kind of setting up. That new moon on the 16th sets up for the 26th when the sun hits that midpoint, and all those transits kind of come together. May 29th, Mercury will transit into its own sign of Gemini. This is a really positive transit for communication, and it's the beginning of a beautiful conjunction between Mercury, Venus, and Jupiter, because Jupiter's still in Gemini transiting. Mercury is going to have a really quick transit through Gemini. It's moving full speed ahead, so it will transit out of Gemini on June 22nd. However, while Mercury is transiting through Gemini, it can be a very active and dynamic period. This can put, our focus on more mental pursuits. Some people may seek out debates or end up in debates over topics they're passionate about. Mercury at one point will receive a square from Saturn, actually, the whole transit. It'll just be stronger kind of mid, end of early June. Early June is when it's going to be stronger because it's getting squared by Saturn. Anyways, it's going to be important when interacting with others to make sure and check that everyone is on the same page. Don't hesitate to ask clarifying questions if something seems off. That's going to make for better communication long run. When having conversations with others, be sure to stay focused and present in the conversation. That does mean putting the little phones, put your phones down, shut off the ringers, turn it over so you don't see notifications coming through that will distract you. Be really present in that moment. The one thing to note is that while Venus is transiting in Gemini, it will be in the lunar mansion of Ardra from May 19th to May 30th. And we may see more severe storms as Ardra is known, it's known to create a little weather. It can also be an increase in emotions, and people may have to take a step back and ground themselves to calm their emotions. So be sure, while Venus is transiting through Ardra, that you get time in nature and make time for yourself to reset. Now, May 29th to June 2nd, I mentioned it briefly above. Once Mercury transits into Gemini, you will have Mercury, Venus, and Jupiter in Gemini, which creates what is known as a Saraswati Yoga. This is a very auspicious planetary setup that it doesn't begin. It brings a surge of divine intelligence. It brings more, the capacity for more eloquent speech. It brings more artistic capabilities. And it's just a really beautiful energy that we should all enjoy. Lastly, May 31st. I told you there's a lot going on in May. What can I say? We are going to have our second full moon at 15 degrees of Scorpio in the lunar mansion of Anurata. This moon will be weaker. It is in Scorpio because Scorpio and the moon do not get along, and the moon is in its weakest state in Scorpio. However, it still has the ability under this full moon to be really prone to quick action. It gives the ability to take charge. It's going to be important to be mindful of your words you're using and be cautious not to criticize others over things that maybe should be left alone. And the other aspect of this full moon is to ensure that you don't self-isolate. You get out around people to maintain clear thinking. With the higher emotions, you may find that you turn to food to compensate for any emotions that you're experiencing under this full moon. So just be sure that you find a better release for your emotions, such as going for a walk or a run or some other form of exercise that you find helps you release emotions that you've been holding on to. One of the things that I always like to say, and it's very important to note, astrology should never be a scare tactic. A good astrologer will not use it that way. They will provide insights, they'll provide heads up. We still need to live our lives and live them to the fullest and make the decisions that are best for us based on our inner knowing and our gut. We can use astrology to guide our choices, absolutely, 100%. But we can't let it paralyze us. That's not the purpose of what I think is an incredible tool because it is just that. It's a tool. With that in mind, life is what we make it and how we view it. So if you choose to find the negative in everything, that's what you're gonna get. It's the theory of manifestation. However, and big but, all caps, if you choose to see the positive in anything, that is also what you will get. So while I had travel issues, I found the positive. I still made it into the city for my meetings. And I have even found the positive in like things such as breakups or my stepdad's death that was very unexpected, almost 20 years ago now. But it's about reframing our perspective. It can be really a game changer in how we approach situations, people, and anything else that show up in our life. So, with that being said, I also know you want the insights for each of the 12 signs for May. So here we go. Remember, you can look at your ascendant or your moon sign. Look at both if you know both. And these are broad, high level. They don't take into account everything else going on in your chart, but it is a good kind of like potential insights. Aries, you are going to have more ambition and energy to accomplish your goals and to tackle those things on your to-do list that may have been hanging over your head for a little bit. You're going to feel more able to tackle those tasks that seemed overwhelming before, and you have this ability to really complete unfinished projects more efficiently. Take advantage of this opportunity and the energy. One of the things, though, while you are able to do things more quickly, please be aware this can also make you a little more accident prone this month. So just be mindful. Pace yourself so you don't get burned out. And then it's also going to be important to watch your temper and take a deep breath before reacting on impulse. Count to 10 or take the night to sleep on it, but step away and don't react on impulse. Taurus, make sure that you keep your home protected this month. Double check that you've locked doors and windows before you leave the house. It can be a really good month to pay ahead on your credit cards and get in front of any potential debt, but also a really great month to take the time to look over your finances and reassess your budget as needed. This is going to be especially important if you have not checked in on them in a while. One thing for you is your sleep could be a little more iffy this month, a little more disturbed, and leave you waking up feeling more tired. The good news is this is a passing influence, unless, of course, your natal chart says otherwise. Um, at the office, it's going to be important to be cautious of who you share information with, because others may try to stab you in the back this month. Metaphorically speaking. Gemini, this is a month you may see your cash flow increase as opportunities present themselves to you. Get out, socialize with your friends. It's going to be important to watch your back because there could be people that pretend to be your friend that don't have your best interest at heart. They're looking out for themselves. The other thing for you is avoid any get rich quick schemes. Somebody's going to get rich, but it won't be you. So just know that if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Also, not a month to loan any money to friends unless you're okay if it never gets repaid, because it's going to be a gift, not a loan. Cancer, this is a really great month to promote yourself. It may be making it known about the projects you've accomplished at work or a project you're working on. Take action this month. Don't overthink decisions to the point of missing out on those opportunities. It's going to be important to remember to respect your boss, and it can be a really good month to consider your career path and what you see as those next steps. Make a plan and start implementing it. If you are considering asking for a promotion, really be sure to gauge your employer's reaction before making any demands. Don't just go storming in and asking for shit because it doesn't always work well. But think it through. Leo, this is a lucky month for you. You're going to feel more inspired, but at the same time, you may feel that you cannot trust your inner knowing. It's going to be important to remember to trust your heart and your gut. It's a month to break the links to those who are controlling you or trying to control you and tell you how to live your life. You may find that authority figures can come across more demanding of your attention and your respect, but be aware that their motivations may be unclear or hidden. Key thing, try not to get in any fights with your boss or your father this month, because the outcome's not going to be in your favor. So just don't pick any fights with anybody in positions of authority. Virgo, you may find that support can come more quickly this month, whether it be help from other people or money. Your curiosity about a topic may lead you to dig deeper and learn more, and your mind is going to be full of ideas and insights. Be sure to write them down and don't let them pass you by, whether it's using a voice app to get them down or physically writing them down. Just make sure you keep them somewhere. You could feel more worried and vulnerable during this month, but it will pass unless your natal chart says otherwise. And just check in on your health because you may find that health issues surface this month and it can be good to catch them early. One of the things for you is this can be a great month to do a cleanse or a detox for your health. Libra, for you, passions will be higher between you and your partner during this month, whether it be marriage or business partner. Be careful that if it feels like your partner is attacking your character, that you let them release that steam because they're likely projecting anger at others onto you. It's going to be important to remain calm, cool, and collected to allow for a favorable outcome for you as well during this situation. Focus on projects that can be completed quickly this month, and then pay extra attention to the details of contracts and agreements that you are signing this month. Scorpio, take the initiative to improve yourself and your skills. There can be more tension and aggression at work, leaving you feeling uncomfortable. It's a good month to begin that exercise regime that you have been talking about. And it's also that exercise is also going to help you release any tension building up within you. You may be prone to overheating this month or getting sick with fevers or anything heat related. Just be mindful, put your health first. And then you may also find that health problems with pets may be more costly this month. Sagittarius, make time to have fun this month. It can be playing with your kids or getting out and doing something fun or getting together with your friends. You may find that inspiration comes from unexpected places or even completely out of the blue. Make sure you have stuff to write it down on. Again, voice notes on your app, on your phone. You will feel you have this clearer vision during this period. This is a month to really show your passion, but don't make any rash decisions. Take the time, cool down, sleep on them, think them through. It can be worth the time to write a pros and cons list that you can visually evaluate. Capricorn, this can be a really great month to make sure that your home has a positive flow of energy and that there's nothing that's stagnating that energy. It's going to be important to maintain your responsibilities to family, work, and any education you may be doing during this month. And then there can be some tension around the home with arguments and disagreements. Step back, wait until the tensions have calmed before having the conversations. Also, key for you, get your car checked out to avoid any expensive problems later and just be cautious while driving. Aquarius, this can be a really great month to start working out because you're going to find that your physical strength is higher. Let your inner child out to play and enjoy the most of life. Go have some fun. This is a time to express yourself through music, dance, writing, art, athletics. It can be dancing in the kitchen, it can be singing in the shower, whatever floats your boat. It's going to be really important to stay calm during your communications. Be the voice of calm and reason, but don't hog the attention. Make sure others get a chance to share their view as well. If you have siblings, don't pick fights with them this month. It's not going to work well. Just don't do it. And then it can be a really great month for you to focus on selling and self-promotion. Pisces, you will be more direct this month, which brings with it a bit of a need to watch what you say. Being more direct can be beneficial, but it can also get you into trouble if you don't take the time to think through what you are saying, as well as who your audience is, which most people don't do. You can be more impulsive with your spending. So maybe set yourself a budget, be mindful, try to keep the credit cards hidden. And just, it's going to be really important to take the time to sit down, enjoy your meals, in order to avoid digestive upsets. For you, it can also be a really great month to take a short course, to learn some new information quickly. Those are the insights for the 12 signs. A lot going on in May. I think it's going to be really positive energy. Just enjoy it. June's going to be great too. Again, as we head into August, it's going to get a little more chaotic again. So just be prepared. June's going to be a big month because Jupiter is switching signs. So not only are you going to get a newsletter, if you're on my list, which if you're not, you should join. It's free for now. So sign up for the newsletter. It goes right to your inbox. You get it easy peasy. Um, Jupiter's changing signs in June. I do use sidereal calculations, so they are different than what a lot of astrologers use. So June's changing, you'll get that newsletter, or Jupiter's changing in June, so you'll get that newsletter. You'll also get the June 2026 newsletter with insights into the rest of June as well. So until June, I hope you have a wonderful May and just enjoy the energy, get out there, have some fun, and I will see everybody in June.